my thing is like, let's grow that and tell the world about it. I don't want this to be a secret in our town and we're never the only ones doing it. That's the best part about nonprofit. You think you have this idea? There's dozens of more people out in the whole world, and they want to help you. They want to see you succeed just as much as you want to succeed. It's been so neat just to, be able to help lay that foundation, and now entering that growth phase as we've started to take off.
Kurt, welcome to Grow Healthy, Help People, the podcast that Accordis, our company, puts out. We like talking with nonprofit leaders that are making a difference. Where are you calling in from today?
Kearney, Missouri, so a little north of the Kansas City metro area.
That's great. And we've been talking about Fulfillment House, the nonprofit that you're running today. Before we dive into all that Fulfillment House does, I'd love to hear a little bit of your story. So how did you get from, high school education, then what was after that, and then how did you get into this nonprofit space?
Yeah, young buck, going to school at a university called Ottawa University. They found me. I was playing soccer up in Kansas City.
Okay.
Coach came and said that I was, not the worst player, so I was just like, let's go for it, right?
Yeah.
We have an opportunity. Went out, did a few tryouts, and fell in love with the small private Christian university. I was like, this is a great fit. So starting school, was doing head first into, I want to be a financial advisor. Who doesn't? Come from a very poor. Not like, we needed everything, but, we couldn't afford everything. And I was just like, I want to go and support my family and everybody that laid the roadmap to help me get to where I was. So had that, and then sophomore year was praying at my soccer game, getting everybody ready and everything. And the chaplain looks at me and he goes, that was a pretty good prayer. I was like, thanks, man. Walked away, went and played the game, didn't think of anything. And he's just like, hey, why don't you stop by my office and let's talk about something? I was like, cool. Let's talk about something. Don't know about what that is. And it led into this journey of saying like, hey, this is what a nonprofit is. Like, do you feel like you have any spiritual gifts that could support this? And I was just like, no. And I walked out. And I was just like, I was just like, gosh, what an idiot 20-year-old just being a jerk. And then
We were all there. Don't feel alone in that. We were all
that's
there.
good. That makes me feel better.
Right?
And, if John ever listens to this, he knows how many times I apologize. So, but you go back, and then he reeled me back in, heard me pray again. I was just like, hey, let's talk more. And, the doors were opening, and he was talking more about what he's done. And, he had started dozens of nonprofits. He'd done anything from International Peace Corps to working with people at Harvard to supporting all these things. And I was just like, wow, what a wealth of knowledge for. And he's like, let's do a nonprofit together. And I was like, cool, let's do it. So we helped high school kids with theology throughout the entire state of Kansas. And I was like, wow, what a cool opportunity when you're in college and learning about it. So I learned about being a nonprofit and what it meant when I was just 20, and I got a salary when I was 21. What a joy and a gift. And it was such an added bonus to it, where I just felt like I got to jumpstart life in a way, just because kind people were looking out for me. And we started this nonprofit called Theology, Action, Understanding, took it off, and it was a great 5-year adventure. And when I was done, I stayed at Ottawa for my undergrad, got these business degrees, and then I got my master's as a little, thank you to the university that supported me. I worked at the university for a couple of years. They gave me a master back as a trade. I feel like they still did a lot more for me, but it's always appreciated. And, you're 24, and you're like, where do you go? I was like, hey, I want my own nonprofit. So I moved to Kearney and started the second chapter of a community center, and that was great. It was a lot of fun, and it was basically all the facets of what I was building at the previous one. I just got to do it independently. And you're 24, 2020 was just around the corner, and you don't know. So we had a ton of challenges right away, but man, what an opportunity to learn and grow, not only for yourself, but I got to be a part of this community I was never, aware of. People welcomed me in again. It felt like Ottawa all over again. I was like, this is great. This is where I want to raise a family. This is where I want to, lay roots and support people that supported me. And had a great 5 years across the street at a nonprofit that was really cool. And then Fulfillment House came. And basically it was a nonprofit that was always adjacent to me, but I didn't know what was going on. And I was just like, man, what should we, what is Fulfillment House? What should we do with it? And it was,
You mentioned that the times were pretty tough for Fulfillment House then. Is that right?
yeah, when I started at Fulfillment House, it was more of just what is our identity? What do we want to be? And I felt like that was, coming in 2023 when I started as just basically like, let's find our base, let's find our foundation of who we are, because we work with individuals with disabilities and we ship things basically. That was the mantra. But it's like, well, we could do more for sure, but we didn't really have any stability that was played before us, just because there were so many different leaders, there were so many different ideas, we were new, and no fault to any nonprofit. Everybody has seasons of trying to figure out who they are and where they want to be. And the mission was always there. We were serving adults, and there was always 9 or 10 adults working here for the purpose of providing that job opportunity, which is great. I just, my thing is like, let's grow that and tell the world about it. I don't want this to be a secret in our town and we're never the only ones doing it. That's the best part about nonprofit. You think you have this idea? There's dozens of more people out in the whole world, and they want to help you. They want to see you succeed just as much as you want to succeed. So it's been so neat just to, be able to help lay that foundation, and now entering that growth phase as we've really started to take off.
That's awesome. So when I looked at the Fulfillment House website, I thought, wait, is this a nonprofit? It seems like it's a business that's providing services. Tell me more about really what you guys do at Fulfillment House.
Yeah, no, it is. We basically are a business for sure.
Yeah.
So the traditional term in the market that we're in is called 3PLs, or third-party logistics companies. Mm-hmm. And basically what it is, we enter contracts with different partners around the world, some, Canada, Japan, California, wherever they are. And we say, you give us your inventory, we'll store it, we'll connect it to a software, we'll look at your orders in real time. You get your orders that process in the day, we package them, get them ready, and then we ship them out the door. And that's the main fulfillment side of what we've been doing. In 23, we're shipping about 2,000 packages a day. Now we're shipping 20,000 packages a month. So, it's just, we're getting some packages out there for sure. So,
your volume is higher now than in 23. You guys are growing at a fast rate,
yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, I think I misspoke a little bit. 2,000 packages a month was what we were doing, and now we're doing 20,000. So we've 10x. Yeah. We're growing.
That's awesome.
But the best part of shipping those packages and signing a new customer is that we get to make a phone call to somebody on a wait list and say, hey, we have a job open for your son or daughter, and here we go. Like, let's get them ready.
So tell me more about your staff.
Yeah, for us, we have 11 basically support staff that work with the adults. And then we've got over 30 adults that are employed here that also get a paycheck, which is their favorite part, as they remind me of constantly. But for us, for me, there's me and then a couple managers, and then we have two main departments, a print department and a fulfillment department that work in tandem to support that fulfillment operation. And then we've got job coaches that work with the individuals to actually support the work. So when we're doing the work, if there's, let's say today there's probably about 500-700 books, things that need to be shipped, we've got 2 or 3 job coaches standing there with the associates saying, hey, do you need help? I'm here. Do you need me to close something? Do you need me to help put it in there? And that's the best part. We stand back and we say, hey, you guys are the stars. You guys are the main people, and we just get to support them.
So tell me about the staff, the adults that work there. Are they folks with certain disabilities or special needs? Tell me more.
Yeah, some individuals have, more, regular, like they may have Down syndrome or they may have autism, more specific terminology that people have heard. But we don't really have a criteria. It's mostly, if we're a good fit for them, we want to see both sides of it. So the way we see individuals working with us is we have them volunteer for 10 hours and we say, hey, is this a good fit for you as you as a person? And say, do we fit the methodology of saying, you want to work here, you're excited about it, this is hands-on, this is exactly what you were looking for, because we don't want to put individuals in a space that's outside of their comfort zone. And that really allows us to focus more on the individual instead of the disability or the special need that they carry, because then we're really focused on saying, okay, we're providing a job opportunity for a Brent or a Haley or an Ashley, and it makes it really transferable that way for us.
That's awesome. And so you said job coaches, is that right? That's more like management level people that are walking around and helping folks if they are struggling to, like you said, they may be struggling to understand a certain quantity of an order, or how do you put this thing into the box, or even I'm sure quality control kind of checks also, like, hey, let's get that tape on this the right way, let's do this a different way. And it's really just helping your team execute what their job is at the highest professional level possible.
And for us too, our biggest customer is Charles Payne. on Fox News, all these things. We want to do the best job possible for him, and our associates want that. So I mean, like for things like that, we're trying to emphasize, that excellence, even if it's for somebody that's on TV every day, or if it's, a mom and pop fulfillment job, for the local community. And our associates hold me even more accountable for that, to make sure they're like, Kurt, that label's crooked, and it's just like, you're right, and that's why you guys are better at this than me. And they're like, yeah, you can go back to your office now and do the paperwork for us. So
Yeah,
it's
we
great.
got the shipping stuff figured out. Yeah.
We've got this. It is. We've got one of our busiest days tomorrow, and I guarantee if I walk out there, the associates would look at me and they'd be like, Kurt, we appreciate that you want to help, but we got this. And that's the level of pride that we want them to have about the work, because again, I get to just be the facet of doing the stuff behind the scenes to let them have the level of excellence of work that they could always provide.
Yeah. So let's talk about your clients. I mean, 20,000 pieces a month is significant.
Yeah.
And you're located in Kansas City, which is like right in the heart of the country. So if you're in New York City or LA, you got to ship across. So from where you guys are, you're halfway across the country, pretty much anywhere. Tell me about your clients.
Yeah, we sell on that facet so much because, we're not the fastest, we're not the cheapest. We've only been around for 8 years, so you have to find your selling point, your niche. And we tell these customers that we want to work with from anything from, we ship word search books, we ship, patches that people can wear that help put vitamins into their body systems. Whatever people want us to ship, we're like, yeah, we're excited about it. But, that piece of being in Kansas City is so helpful for us, because for the customer, they really are getting a good opportunity, because they don't have to have two warehouses that they're double stocking with inventory. They don't have to pay for those two things. And we jump into our business sense and say like, hey, traditional 3PLs would tell you, hey, just get as much stuff. Here's how we're better. We'll get it there in 2 days. Why not wait one more day for your business, the one that the customers that are trusting us with, and we work with them from a partner level of saying, we turn business down, which everyone's just like, why do you do that? And it's just like, because it's not a good fit for us. We want our partners to make as much money as they can for them, because they're supporting our nonprofit. And it's such a neat mantra, because instead of us having to go out to the local community and always, beg for donations, which we love, which we accept, we really can go into a partnership with a company that says like, hey, I want to ship 2,000 items a month. Great. We want you to too. Here's the impact you're making for us as an organization. You're really providing a huge stipend for us to be able to support our mission. And it's such a great two-prong approach, because the business feels so good about what they're doing, because they could use anybody. There's hundreds of thousands of people, businesses like us, that would love to ship their product, but they choose to make that impact piece of it, and that's significant. I mean, like, those are the ones that are really making the work that we provide possible every day.
I love it. So, in the nonprofit side, what is your breakdown of revenue from earned revenue from the services you provide versus donations? Is it?
Man, I'm scared to shake. If I share, people are always just like, because I come from the fundraising background where you're fighting for it, but it's probably honestly 1 to 0.5% of our revenue is donations. It's so small. And it's so we do one fundraiser a year in October where we get everybody together. We have sense of community, but it's so different. Like, I don't like, people will make donations, and we have reoccurring donors, and they love it, or we put these thank you cards in a lot of our packages that say, this is the associate that packaged your item, and people will be like, oh dude, Jenny did such a great job, here's $500, have a little party on me. But it's so different. It's so different than the traditional nonprofit. Like, we have that benefit of being a full business, really, where we use that facet to support our revenue streams, where we're not really relying on those donations.
That's so great. It's a unique model. You're right. I love it when nonprofit organizations can earn revenue and provide services, because in doing so, you don't have to continue to ask for donations consistently, and you can grow at really a faster rate. I mean, you guys could land 10 clients in the next 2 years that are large clients, and you're buying more warehouse space, and you're hiring 25 more people. I mean, that could happen. You don't have to go out and try to raise money to just get that started.
Exactly, and that's our roadmap. I mean, we'll break ground in a building in a couple weeks, and that'll be a space that's 15,000 square feet that'll let us excel. And the whole goal of that is to literally do that, to sign those customers so we can have 50 to 60 more associates work on schedules and shifts. And that's the best part of it, is just because, like, every time we sign customers, we get to expedite our mission. We
Yeah.
don't have to wait for a donor or a campaign or a thing. And then
Yeah.
even to take this step into building a building so we have sustainability as an organization, we get to use our own revenue. Like we get to just find that benefit. We will raise money, we will use, donations and kindness to support the project, but it's so much easier in so many ways, and we are just, we're just lucky to be, as an able-bodied service to these
Yeah.
customers that are trusting us.
So as a business nonprofit, um, are you using more business tools? Like most nonprofits would use like a donor management system, and they use like nonprofit kind of tools. Are you using business tools, or
Absolutely.
give me the breakdown?
Absolutely, yeah. We treat everything here like a full business. So I mean, like we even our QuickBooks account, we are on a profit first thinking account compared to the traditional nonprofit sense. CRM systems, I could track it on Excel because I could call everybody right now for the people that are donating to us. So I mean, like it's so unique in that facet of saying like we talk more and we have committees structured around the business where we're talking about our financing and our forecasting and our projecting. I've got 3 years of budgets laid out ahead of us where we want to go and what milestones. We have the understanding with the sales report, we sign a customer, how much of that is gross margin and how do we look at that in that certain way? How many associates can we hire within that and our labor metrics in our studies? So we have KPIs like our other 3PLs. So we treat everything like a business. And what's cool is we try to teach those pieces to our associates as well. We do what's called day services, and we have basically an hour a part of each shift. And what we do is we teach independence and core values and soft skills and pieces so the associates learn not only like what they're a part of, but like if they wanted to have a little bit of entrepreneurship, if they wanted to have a little bit of independence to say, no, I want to manage my money. And we teach that because we have the skill sets of what we have as a business versus more of a nonprofit to be able to put that back into the individuals coming here and say, no, like we want to talk about finance. That was a huge topic for us and be like, and now our associates are like, I want to manage my bank account. Sure, a few parents are a little skeptical right away and it's like, we are too. But if they want that for them, man, why not install that in them and have that confidence building? We want to support that every step of the way.
That's awesome. So as you know, you're running a nonprofit that runs like a business. Um, if there are other nonprofits out there that are watching this podcast, Accordus, our company, what we are is a back office to nonprofit. So while we do not know 3PLs like Kurt and his organization, as well as, I mean, that's what it's an industry. He's in an industry running a nonprofit. If you need back office support in your nonprofit, let us know. We'll put the website for Accordus, my company, at the end of this podcast, as well as the fulfillmenthouse.org. That's where you can learn more about Kurt and his organization. And if you're an author or anyone that's selling any kind of goods that need to be shipped, reach out to Kurt. He and his team in the middle of the country can probably help you with that. Kurt, where do you hope Fulfillment House will be in maybe 3 or 5 years? I mean, you mentioned you're building a building. Do you want to double in size in 5 years, or what's the roadmap ahead?
Yeah, the plan for us is to really get to the point where we can serve as many people as we can. There's so many individuals that really need services because we are so north of Kansas City. We don't want individuals having to drive 40 minutes to get resources.
Yeah.
And we want to really establish ourselves as basically a hub 25 minutes north of that so we could serve these rural counties in addition to the more people in our own county, Clay County,
Okay.
and really get to that point. So my dream and what I feel like is very possible for us is to be able to serve 100 adults in just 2027. So I mean that's a year and a half from now.
And
And
that's doubling in size a year and a half from now?
that's two-thirds more than what we're doing right now. So, I mean,
Okay.
we're serving about 30, 50 people in some capacity. So, I mean, like, it's about two-thirds or half more. And
Yeah.
with the capacity building that we're doing in just that short amount of time, I feel like it's very possible. By the next 3, 5 years, we have goals and aspirations to provide residential housing for our individuals. So we can have
Wow.
apartments and they can have their own individual space. We have
Independent
aspirations.
living. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And we have aspirations to provide a 5-day solution for each one of our families. So basically, they can say, "Hey, my individual turned 18. Here's a chapter we can provide. Here's a job. Here's a place of living, and here's the fun part of it that works in this great trifecta in a safe space where your individual, your loved one, has a great environment for all the years as long as they want that as well." And I think we
That's
could really
awesome.
build it. I think we could build something unique.
And the funding mechanism for that are these businesses that need their stuff shipped. That
Absolutely.
funds the whole cycle. That is fabulous, Kurt.
And it's great because it's people that were going to pay for that service anyway. So, I mean, like, instead of paying for it to go into an Amazon or into a traditional force that was going to just continue to build shareholders' wealth, why not instead put it towards a passion project to really build a sustainability project for individuals who would never have that resource without their funding? It's a great way to have a win-win with a business really trying to build something special here in a little town north of Kansas City.
Awesome. So if you're watching this today, you can reach out to Kurt through thefulfillmenthouse.org. I'm sure on that they have a contact form. You can reach out to Kurt that way if you have questions, want to get involved in what they're doing, or want to have them as your fulfillment house. Kurt, the work you're doing is great work, man. Thanks for taking time today to be on the podcast. Hope you have a great day.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Blessings.